Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Nirvana. Back after a 1 week absence, 2 weeks?
1 week.
1 week absence. We needed it after that special Empire Death to sort of rethink our life choices. But moving on. In today's episode, we shall be ranking all of RTD2's episodes. That is a tongue twister.
Before we get into it, Jay has just made me a coffee for the first time, and I'm going to rank that to wet the whistle, as it were. And I've just had a taste before we started. It tastes a bit like a cafe coffee. It's very instant coffee. I asked him to put sugar in. Honestly, I can't taste if there's much sugar in.
I put 1 scoop of sugar in.
So I'm going to put that in good. I make it better.
I'm alright for good. Just considering my first time making you a coffee,
Which is
I'll
shocking,
accept.
by the way.
Yeah, I mean, good is good. I'll accept that. Are we just gonna review coffee the rest of this, or is this gonna go back to being a Doctor Who?
No, maybe
show?
we'll get into tea and yeah, we'll get
Other hot drinks, hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. No, we'll get into.
We should do a tea tier list actually. We'll
you
do
can't.
that.
You don't even drink
No,
tea.
but I can respect it as an idea, can't I? You know. Anyways. We are going to be doing a tier list, and as you can see, it goes from perfect to bad. I think, spoiler alert, I don't think any of these are going to be perfect. And as you can see, this is an interesting tier list because it seems to have literally everything he's written so far, including like the little 2-second scene where Jodie regenerated, as well as the comic relief special, or Red Nose Day special,
Yes,
and the CBeebies bedtime special. As well as, weirdly, the upcoming special, which hasn't been out yet.
I suppose it's based on the trailer.
I mean, yeah, but has there even been a trailer? There's been some images.
Just so you guys are aware, we will be ranking simply on the basis of the season itself. We will not be comparing it to other seasons because...
That's way too complicated. Yeah. This is just going to exist in a vacuum, in its own little time bubble, so to speak. Right, with all that preamble out the way, should we get started?
Yes,
yeah,
let's
might as
go.
well since we're here. Okay, we'll go chronologically, is it?
Yes, I do.
So that couple of seconds when he regenerated from Jodie to Tennant, I mean, it's a good scene. Can't deny that. There's not really.
I'd put it in good. As
we can always change it later.
Reveals of a new Doctor go. It was exciting, but I think
it'd be more exciting if we didn't know.
Yeah, that's the problem, because it was shown before the actual episode. It was kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we knew he was coming back. But the other thing as well, we're talking about the narrative, like the sort of, the writing of it. Can we really
I like the first
judge
line.
on this? I mean, yeah, everyone likes the first line, but there's not much. Let's just say we'll put it in good for now, because there's nothing wrong with the scene, but there isn't really enough.
There's nothing for me to call it amazing. Put it that way.
And there's nothing for me to call it bad either, because there's not enough to it. So yeah, middle of the road seems okay for me at the moment. Right. We have the comic relief special with the return of Davros. That was only 2 minutes or so. I was not a fan.
There's aspects of it I found funny, but I think
it's funny. Yeah.
We both agree that Davros should be in a not even in a wheelchair.
It's not a wheelchair. I mean,
it's in
a Dalek. Really.
Yeah, it's in a mechanical structure to keep him alive. I think that's what Davros is.
And it's just a cool design. It's just, objectively, he's a lot cooler looking like that,
But I thought the actor was good.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and
Julian Glover, is that his name? I can never remember his name, but the one who plays him all the time. He's
and
good.
I thought. Yeah, I thought it. So I'd put it in meh.
I'd put it in meh. I mean, I can give it a pass because it's a comic relief special. Like, it's not really.
It's not. We don't know if it's canon or not.
People are gonna say it's canon, but you could easily just ignore it and say it's not canon.
Yes,
So it's just meh for me. Now, we didn't actually see the CBeebies bedtime thing, so I don't feel like we can actually rank it, to be honest with you. So we'll keep that there. There should be another place for haven't seen, really.
Maybe we put it in bad just because we haven't seen it.
No, that feels kind of
put it in meh because we haven't seen it.
I mean, we'll leave it for there. We'll leave it there for now, and that maybe we'll just keep it there with the special because we haven't seen them. because we're not 6 years old. Um, right, the Star Beast.
My gut is to put it in good. I don't think it was the best episode. I am not gonna lie to our listeners. I think I mean, we all know that it was based off of a Big Finish.
Based off of a comic strip, which turned into a Big Finish, which
based
now
off a
turned
comic
into
strip and it kind of just felt like that was, no effort was put into it. It was a very set up episode for me, and I didn't enjoy the fact that it was just set up. I understand why it was, but it kind of just felt like we need to get Donna back into it. So how are we going to do that? Here's an episode.
Yeah, and he couldn't be bothered to write.
But did I actually like the Star Beast as a villain?
Oh yeah, yes. Very good villain. Yeah.
Did I think that although quirky, the Doctor using the Sonic to make a shield was...
Did not like that at all. You're pushing this down for me each time you talk about it. Yeah, this episode kind of
But
frustrated
I liked
me.
the interaction between him and Donna back again.
Yeah, that was cool. The Noble family, pretty good. I felt like this didn't do a lot of justice for Rose. It didn't feel like she was a character.
Between Rose and... I can't think of... What's the mum's name now?
Donna's mum. Let's just call Donna's mum. She has got a name.
For the life of me today, can't remember it. I thought that was a beautiful moment where they were just talking about
where she
Rose.
didn't know what to call Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, that was pretty good character interaction. There's quite a bit, but I don't know. This one just doesn't sit right with me. I don't like the use of the Sonic. I don't really like the ending, how they resolve matters. I think it's... I don't like the way they lecture Tennant's Doctor either as a male presenting Time Lord. I feel like you're trying to endear your trans character to the audience. I don't think by giving people lectures is the way you do that. I think that Rose is a lot better later on in the series.
I agree.
And I feel like... I don't know. I just felt like Russell does political stuff, okay? Yeah, that's part of it. But I don't like the political stuff. But if you're going to do it, at least make it interesting. Medley was
good as well.
Oh, yes, Ruth Medley was actually very good.
And that whole interaction, again, I thought that was good. I thought the fact of, leaving them there for all those soldiers, if I remember correctly, going up into the ship.
Up into the ship, yeah, and then them getting taken over.
Cool.
I liked how it references the boss at the end. That feels like that's going to be the new bad guy for the next season of Doctor Who. And I did like the way that Tennant's Doctor, the 14th Doctor, does feel different from the 10th. You can see that experience. Like, there's a scene when he first meets Ruth Medley, Redden's character Shirley Bingham, and then he ends up going on a unit truck, and I don't know why there was a way that he was so casual, the way he sort of like used the Sonic on the truck, sat there, and it was like, this man has had years of experience. I feel like I can't put it in meh because it is
That's
better.
That's why I said good. I think it is.
But to
good.
me, it's
we've got a lot. Okay, maybe.
Let's put it in good because I feel like I can't justify saying that the list was better than that.
Yeah.
Even though that doesn't frustrate me as much as... It's just a frustrating episode for me, I think if I give it a rewatch...
I think it's again, it's just... It feels like, for me, not a lot of work was actually put into it.
Yeah.
And that's,
Very lazy.
Yeah.
Very lazy.
That's how it felt for me. But did I dislike it? Not too much.
No, I mean, it's a bit of fun, but it wasn't the best way to start the season. Now... Wild Blue Yonder.
Wild Blue, I'm gonna, based off of the fact that there's not there, it goes from good to amazing, fantastic, perfect very quickly.
Yeah.
This would be one of my tops, so I would be tempted to put this in fantastic.
I think perfect. Fantastic. I wouldn't say it's perfect. I don't think this really. Yeah, we can always change.
But I thought that the effects were really good in this one. I thought it was lovely having a Tenant Donna again. I thought...
The villains were terrifying. And you know what? I said to you, this is the first time I'd been watching Doctor Who in years where I was actually scared. Like, it really... Something about them, like the body horror aspect.
Uncanny Valley,
yeah. Like my legs are too... My arms are too long. Oh, I did not like that at all, And I think what helped this episode a lot was that we really didn't have a clue what this episode was going to be about.
No, and I think also having that discussion of what the Donna knew about the Doctor based on him, it was nice closure of that. Well, you were in my head. What do you remember? And kind of like.
And then and how they dealt with the flux as well, having him still have some kind of PTSD for it, moving it on from the Time War to him feeling good about that was really good. The performances all round were top notch, very intense from beginning to end. You feel really, it's one of those episodes which I really like, but I don't think I could watch that often because it's up there with like Midnight and Heaven Sent, where it's really intense to watch.
I disagree. I would definitely rewatch it again.
No, I rewatch it because it's good, but I just find it hard to rewatch because it's so intense. The reason it's not perfect for me is weirdly that the scene in the beginning with Sir Isaac Newton, because really, what was the point?
I completely forgot about that scene. Yeah. It's to make Mavity. I don't understand.
Yeah, very polished. I mean, I guess it sets up.
And also, it sets up Susan Twist. Doesn't
it? But come on. It didn't really need to be there, did it? You could have chucked an extra 5 minutes of them being on that ship at the edge of the universe, and that idea as well, a ship at the end of the universe, and that alien skull just float in outside, and they can hear the knock in from where it's being.
But it's a bit of fun, and that is very Donna and Doctor. They didn't have.
Feels very first Doctor era, RTD era.
Yeah.
But again, that's why it's not perfect for me. I feel like you could you imagine if we got an extra 5 minutes on that spaceship?
I really don't think anything is going to reach perfect if we're doing it as perfect.
Not in this era, no, as well. But, no, I mean, yeah, that's why for me. I mean, other than that, really, really good episode. This is definitely like your 8 to 9s, 9.5. And this is me being pernickety. I don't hate those first 5 minutes, but I just think trim the fat. You could have cut that off. I get obviously the setting up Mavity, which is stupid, fun but stupid. I get this setting up Susan Twist, but they do that so much anyways. It's not a big deal. I feel like there's more that could have been done.
It's nice that they're setting her up before shoot even starts, though.
Yeah, I guess, but I still feel like out of everything in that episode, it's so tightly written. That part you could have easily taken off, and it wouldn't have changed really the story going through it.
No, that's true, I suppose.
What I do like about this episode a lot, it really sets up, talking about setting up stuff before Shooty, it sets up the new era in the sense of him pouring the salt and letting basically gods into our universe. That is a really cool idea and a good explanation for why the world's got a bit more supernatural.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Should we move on to anything else to say about Well Blue Yonder? We're done gushing over it? Okay. The giggle.
I'd put it in amazing.
I think I agree with you. It is better than Star Beast, not as good as Wild Blue Yonder.
We haven't had Space Babies yet.
Well, we wouldn't, would we?
Oh, was the giggle? But I thought Space Babies was before the giggle.
How could it be before?
I don't know. You're right. Correct. Sorry. Apologies, listeners. I'm going out of my mind.
Maybe it's because you should stop playing with your hair while we're doing this.
I need to tie it up.
Need to. Fair. Right. Anyways, back to the point. The giggle. What can we say about the giggle? I mean, Neil Patrick Harris, brilliant as the toy maker.
I loved the little weird babies.
Oh yes, yeah, they were again another time when Doctor Who's actually scared me with the what's his name, like Suki Bill, I think that's the name of it. Yeah, they were really, really freaky. Like I was watching that, and when like the Suki Bill's wife is sort of walking using practical effects, man, really does,
I think the only part that really took me out of the episode, was the part where Kate Stewart decides to snap back at Shirley.
Yeah, you didn't like that, do you? I liked it, weirdly.
I just don't.
I didn't like what she was saying. I know
it's meant to be the people are horrible and it's the worst part of themselves, but for me, I do not believe that even the worst part of Kate would believe that she could walk.
Yeah, it's thinking about it. Like, what does that Ray do? Like, 'cause everyone thinks they're right. I get that, but how does that turn Kate?
That's what I don't like. I
Yeah,
think I'm sure there's more to the Ray than they specify, but I don't believe no matter how mean, no matter how angry, no matter how twisted Kate
it
feels
seems like
that
that's not
day,
something she would have
it
thought
doesn't feel
of.
like
It's almost
something
like
she would do. Whereas I think with everyone else who we saw that the Ray hit or affected, it felt like it was something that their worst selves would do.
yeah, it's a very cool idea to have that. Basically, this giggle makes everyone. Well, everyone always thinks they're right, anyways. That's a Otherwise, no one ever thinks they're wrong. But the fact that it brings you down to that baser instinct when no one can speak to each other. Um, it's a very good commentary, really, and it's surprising because I think Russell T Davies can be as subtle as a brick to the head sometimes. Um, but talking about the fact that we cancel one another, we're in our echo chambers. We always think that we're the one who's right. Everyone else is wrong. So that's really cool to sort of make humanity turn on themselves. And the Doctor even says like this isn't just the giggle. This is something that's inside you. You do this to
Yes, it's
yourselves.
nothing new.
Yeah.
Everyone, especially with current electoral
Well, anything current
decisions.
politics. Everyone always thinks they're right, and no one can actually sit down and talk to one another. Um, oh god, that got really deep, really good. Let's go back to fun things. So, Wilf, bless him,
Well, it was so
R.I.P.
nice to see him.
Wish he could have been in it more, but for obvious reasons. Oh, it'd be nice if there are some like deleted scenes where he's in it more. It'd be nice to see what his role
Would have been.
been. Because I feel like there would have been some interaction between him and the toy maker, which would have been gorgeous.
I do like that they didn't kill him off though. I like that.
Yeah, he's still alive in that universe. He's
I
just
think that's quite adorable. I'm
shooting
not gonna
voles.
lie. I really liked the bi generation. I think I'm one of the few who do.
Still mixed for me, mostly because at the time I didn't understand it. Like it's not really explained that well. Apparently, in the book version of the giggle, bi generation is explained well, and it's almost like I think it's sort of hinted at once he's Tennant now,
Yes.
has sort of recovered from his trauma, he will sort of disappear and merge back into Shooty. I think that's what they say in the giggle. Correct me if I'm wrong if anyone has read it. Um, I I think it's probably how people felt when the Doctor first regenerated the first time, being like, "Whoa, it's jumped the shark. This is too ridiculous." But then again, this is a show about an alien that can change its gender and travel through space and time, so I shouldn't really have a problem with it. But I feel like it needed more explanation. I still have too many questions about it. Doesn't mean I hate it. Doesn't mean I love it.
I think it needs to be a one-off.
Yeah.
I think again because it's dealing with trauma. I think it needs. Yeah, it just needs to be a one-off. However, I still liked it. I thought
the visual's cool.
The visual of it was managed well.
And we did have a multi-Doctor story then for the 60th.
Yeah, and it was, it's nice to give Tennant the ending he deserved.
I guess, yeah, but at the same time, I get what you mean by that point. It's nice that we've almost got the best of both worlds. We've got the Doctor who can settle down and have a life, and a Doctor who goes off and wanders in the universe. The problem is, one, it seems like they park Tennant, so then whenever the show goes to shit, they can bring it back, which I don't think is fair on Shooty, and is also a bad precedent to set. That Doctor Who is more than Tennant, just like it was more than Tom. And two, I think that there's going to be a certain part of the fandom which are always going to say, well, Shooty's not the real Doctor. The real Doctor is sat down somewhere, and that's just giving ammo for the dickheads, So I think that if the fandom wasn't as toxic as it was right now, then it wouldn't be a big deal. But because you've got people who are really, really extreme on both sides, I think this is just bait for people to say that Shooty's not the real Doctor. Having said that, still enjoy the episode. I think it's the only one we've watched twice out of all the specials.
Of the specials.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
because we watched it with our friend.
We watched Church on Ruby Road twice because...
Yeah, I'm talking about the 10 specials. But
yes.
yeah, I get what you're saying. So yeah, good. I think that's everything we have to say about that. Neil Patrick Harris should definitely come back as a toy maker. Oh, the little racist part at the beginning with the toy maker.
Oh, I didn't mind it.
I mean, I didn't mind it because I feel like Russell... I don't think he was as racist, outwardly racist as...
I think it wasn't to be racist. I think it was to show that the toy maker is making fun of people.
Yeah, and the way he sees it, they play things, he's putting on clothes and stuff. You know? So he also plays in stereotypes. But I feel like Russell said it was a reference back to the toy maker being racist in the Celestial Toy Maker. And I haven't watched the episode, so I'm not really sure. But I think what is that he was wearing... Celestial apparently was a term for Asians, a derogatory term for Asians back then. And what he was wearing was like a stereotypical, like, Victorian kind of Asian get-up, kind of Wing Chai-an. So I think it's a reference to that. And I think they also use a very derogatory term for a person of colour in that episode. Yes, the 10 Little Soldier Boys song, but with the original lyrics.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was more racism in that episode than I realised. Moving on before we get cancelled. The Church on Ruby Road. To me, I'm thinking good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's better than... Let's rearrange these. I think it's better than both these, if I'm honest with you. If we say like that's best.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because when I first watched that one, I don't know if it's because was I drunk?
Heavily drunk.
It?
We were both hammered. It was Christmas.
I didn't actually like it the first time round I watched it. I thought... It's not that I didn't like it, but I think I was disappointed by it.
You wanted more coming off of those specials.
I wanted more coming off the specials, but then we rewatched it literally probably the next day. And I did like it more when I was sober. Maybe I'm just an angry drunk.
It's cry for help.
I think I liked the interaction between them when I thought their
the chemistry
was just fantastic. You know, them meeting each other, him in a kilt, by the way. Them meeting each other, to them hanging off that ladder, to then being tied up with rope. Those
very labyrinth.
Very
yes. Labyrinth.
Yeah, and I am a fan of Labyrinth. I will admit.
I like. It's fascinating. I feel like this is the only Doctor that could meet a companion in a club. Like, I'm trying to imagine. Could you imagine William Hartnell meeting them? But
I also think, and maybe this is just me, I also think it's the only companion who I can see taking someone seriously in a club. And I don't mean that as a criticism on any of the other companions, but I think, you know, people who've been in clubs, I'm sure many of our listeners, if not all, have been
all 16 you, yeah.
You have a tendency, if you meet someone new, you kind of, it's like you'll be my friend for the night. Maybe we'll pretend to take its phone numbers and then I'll ignore you.
We're getting a really in-depth look into your dating life before me, and we. I don't really like this. I don't really like this.
Whereas Ruby, because obviously she plays her music in probably bars and clubs and stuff, and she's of that generation, I think she would take meeting someone as adventurous and as
out there
as the Doctor more seriously than other companions would.
I mean, that's interesting. I've never thought of it that way. I think it's just the fact that man can stand out anyway. Like, he's a gorgeous human being.
Again, him in a kilt.
Yeah, him wearing a kilt and being a Celt myself. Not Scottish, Welsh. Can't really breathe. But seeing someone wearing and especially if he's Scottish as well in real life, I really like that. I wish you see the Doctor in a kilt more often, to be honest with you. And the scene where he speaks to the police officer.
Yes,
and that's such a good Doctor. Yes. Yeah, she'll say yes, and him being like, I know she will because the rings went on sale tomorrow and you bought it today because you couldn't wait. I thought that was such a good Doctor moment.
That was lovely. And do you know what? It is a banging tune. We can't get away from the Goblin song.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually really liked it. I wish we actually saw more singing in this era because the man can sing.
I think it was set up to be more of a musical era as well than it really
was, yeah. But we'll come back to that later.
However, the reason that this is probably good is just because in comparison to what we've had since,
yeah,
I think it's...
And it sets up the mystery of Ruby really well, which really gets paid off at the end of the series. But yeah, we can't fault it. Church on Ruby Road, I think it's a good start to the season. It's a good festive Christmas special. I can see us watching that again this year when we do our your Christmas special ranking this year. That'll be fun.
I've already got my top 3.
Okay, well, we'll save that for December. Tune in December, folks, if you want to hear Kay's top 3. Right, this is when I think it starts to go downhill.
Space babies.
We saying meh? Do you think any of these are bad?
Hang on, let me... Yes. No. Meh. There are mehs for me.
I don't think
any of them will fall in bad.
This would be bad if it wasn't for being a special.
A lot of people would do things differently from what we... I have one friend who I know would put Space Babies a lot higher, but I also know I have other friends who...
would put it in bad. Yeah. I think we both agree this was not the way to start the era. It was silly, campy fun, which I don't mind.
I think that where it was in the era let it down.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this before, probably on this podcast as well. But I do think that a lot of these episodes should have been rearranged just slightly. Yeah. Was it... I can see the benefits of Space Babies now a little bit more. However, I think the Doctor's characterization in it wasn't very consistent with what we'd seen previously. And I know we've only seen it once, but he literally, I believe, said, "Oh, I'm over it. I'm fine with
being the last."
Time Lord.
He's done his therapy.
He's like, "I'm the last. I must save him because he's also the last."
True, but again, I feel like the Doctor would try and save him anyways, even if he wasn't the last. So I don't really... I know what you mean. He should maybe they shouldn't have leaned into the fact you saved him because he can relate to him being the last of the Time Warlords. He should have just wanted to save him because he doesn't want to commit genocide because he's done that a lot and he's kind of past that.
It's not an evil creature.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that should be what it's about. This thing wasn't actually trying to hurt anyone.
Shouldn't have gone back to the trauma aspect.
Yeah,
again.
I think it was just... And to be honest with you, I think another thing that really just let Space Babies down completely was the CGI. They should have not done the babies actually speaking. It should have been mind kind of telepathy type thing.
That makes sense, but really all you'd be watching is a baby gurgling. And
I love a baby gurgling.
I mean, yeah, true.
That would entertain me more than seeing them speak.
Yeah.
However...
the concept is cool.
And I think, the babiys thinking that they're their mum and dad and then them having to be like, no.
Yeah, that's really cute.
I think that's
it's really cute.
Cute, but also very serious kind of...
Yeah, it's cute to realise the implications. When they wanted to give the babies wanted a cuddle, that was that was heartbreaking. I was like, oh, because they've never experienced it. Yeah. So again, a lot of ideas there are really good. The baby, super intelligent babies, been abandoned by the government. Again, maybe a bit too political for my liking, but still a really cool idea. The bogeyman. The idea of that it comes from the power of stories, that's a cool idea. But it actually being made that
part, but the part where it's made from actual
buggers.
bogies.
Yeah, come on.
Nah.
Again, if you're trying to get new people into Who, don't start with this episode. However, there's a lovely scene where the 15th Doctor's talking to the baby, and the baby's like, are we broken? Did we grow up wrong? And he says that no one ever grows up wrong. I thought that was a really, moment, really good. So, yeah, a lot of good scenes peppered throughout a very meh storyline. Yeah. So I think meh is right. Doesn't frustrate me as much as Doctor Who and the Dalek Plungers of Doom. We're calling it. Right, Devil's Cord. You know what? I would say good, if not potentially higher.
The problem is, I feel like there needs to be a middle between good and amazing, because But
High good going into
I would put it in. Yeah, put it in amazing. I think.
Go on, will be nice. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, the villain was
brilliant,
phenomenal,
and I was not expecting to like
the
Jinx
story was good up to, I think personally, the ending.
The twist at the end.
Yeah, and I think the again, it's that those interactions, the characters. I think
the costumes.
The costumes. I want more music in that episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just commit to the bit.
Did I then feel that the end song felt really kind of
weird? It's meant to be still in a state of play.
I get what it's for. I just don't think it was needed. I don't think it made anything other than, oh look, we've got the cast of Strictly, and look, this is Susan Twist
which
again.
I didn't even notice.
Which we could have had Susan Twist at any other point.
I mean, yeah, but Susan Twist is in it right at the beginning as well.
Well, sorted. There we go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, either that should have been either musical throughout the entire episode and they defeat her music, or no music at all because she's taken music away. Not this kind of weird in between. Despite saying it's an amazing, we've just criticised it.
No, but again,
bit loud. Bring it down.
But again, I don't know how close I am to this. Sorry if I'm hurting people's ears. Hurting
mine.
The villain, I think, holds the episode up so well.
Brilliant.
That it, for me, goes in amazing.
It makes so sense. Like, the right amount of camp. So much sense. Makes so much sense. I'm making no sense. It's the right amount of... The camp to terrifying ratio was... There's a certain threshold, and that was top notch. I think that... Yeah, honestly, I was mesmerised by her on the screen. And again, some really nice shots where Ruby playing the piano upstairs and the doctor's looking over. Where are they in Liverpool? No, they're in London at that point, didn't they? Is Abbey Road in London or Liverpool?
It's in London.
It's in London. Yeah, the Liverpool band they recorded in London. Sorry, I'm gonna get so much shit for that in the comments. But yeah, him looking over the skyline, that single tear going down his eye before we got sick of him crying every episode. Him mentioning his granddaughter and stuff. Kind of, it was exposition, but I think it made sense in the story.
Especially considering the ending. They had to, I think, put it in, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it. I still feel like it doesn't fully explain what Maestro's doing with music, because music still exists, except it's just shit now. So basically, she just sent us to the 2020s. Soulless. Soulless. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I like that. Okay. Moving on. Boom.
I would want to put this in. Yeah.
Fantastic. Better than Wild Blue Yonder?
Yes, for me. Oh, no. Oh.
No, I think it's close. I don't think it's as good as Wild Blue Yonder, though. And this is coming from someone who is a Moffat stan.
All right.
It's kind of sad that the best episode, I think, of that season is not written by the showrunner.
Yeah, but we haven't got to that one yet, or are you?
I'm talking about this one.
Oh, I was.
Oh, but I know the one you're on about, and that could be up there as well. Yeah, I mean, bottle episode, again, it's got the same, almost very similar vibe to Wild Blue Yonder, in the sense that, you know, small cast, one location, intense throughout the entire story, sparkling dialogue.
Yeah.
Moffat is always brilliant at dialogue. All the characters are great. I thought the father, AI, such a real relationship. Minor criticism.
Kid was annoying.
Kid was a bit annoying. I think she's trying to play younger.
She is, which, to be fair to her,
can't blame her.
You
really.
can't blame her,
and
I do think it was any issues I had with her personality were the writing, not the actor. I thought just the intensity throughout.
How can you have a man stand there all time?
Was phenomenal. New ways to put the height up in a situation where there's only one outcome,
and it just builds, and you do wonder how he's going to get out of it. Some people might think it's a bit of a cop out, but to be honest, I kind of like it. It's set up that he's an AI. It's kind of going back to the Moffat thing of we'll win with the power of love, which I got annoyed at a bit in this series, but it's been a while, so I'll give it to him.
And also, it's one of those things where, yes, maybe he wrote himself into a corner and that's the only way he could do it, but okay, I thought it was a clever way still
Of
to
doing it.
actually do
The
it.
thing is, he sets up all the pieces before. It's
Yes.
not like a Deus Ex Machina in the sense that it comes out of nowhere. The pieces are set up. I like the callbacks to the Villengard Corporation.
Yes,
There was a
yeah.
lot of old callbacks to Moffat's era. I like the idea of them fighting a war with themselves, even though if you really think about it for too long, it doesn't make sense. But then neither does war. I mean,
But his whole point was
It's
that
a
no
blind
one else
faith.
would do it.
yeah, it's the
It
fact
is
that
just the fact that they had
there's blind
that,
faith. Yeah.
religion.
Not religion, blind faith. You know, and in fact, he's blinded as well at the beginning. I just realised that. Oh, cool. Did I think he was a bit heavy-handed with the messaging about faith? Yes, and that's just not. That's even people I know who are atheists still felt that it was a bit spiteful at certain points.
Yeah.
However, I would say the Doctor's standing on that landmine and he's about to blow up half a planet. I think he's allowed to be a bit spiteful, especially since there was no reason for him to be there. You know, all this war to begin. But again, very minor niggles. I think I've watched that like 3 times now, so that shows how much I enjoy the episode overall. 43 yards. What?
Is that a joke on the 40, or did you just mistake
No.
the number?
Oh, was it 49 yards?
I thought it was 73 yards.
73 yards, is it? Oh, it's 73 yards. Yeah, sorry, 73 yards. My apologies. 14. Where did I
What
get
is up
49
with
from?
you today?
What's up with you? It's time
FYI listeners, that he would never get this incorrect on any other day, but I guess it's the pressure of you guys being here. So 73 yards.
Just belittle me in front of her. It's alright, fine. Yeah, okay.
No, I was trying to be nice.
Okay,
I was trying to
73.
say you'd never usually get
Yeah,
it wrong.
73 yards. Sorry, 49 yards. Where'd that come from? 73 yards. What are we?
Right, people are probably going to be contentious about, well, the next 2. I'd probably put it in amazing.
I would say good.
Oh, fine, but it has to be at the top of the good. You're going to disagree with me on that, aren't you?
Oh, you know what? I don't know because I like it. I do like the episode a lot when I think about it. It's just there's so many unanswered questions. It makes me think it should be in good. Like if it was just on a personal level,
Yeah.
I would probably say amazing by here. But I'm thinking, is it on the same level as, you know, Devil's Cord, The Giggle?
No, okay, no.
There's more going on.
You've got a good point.
Is it better than Church on Ruby Road?
For me, yes.
Can you see us rewatching this more?
Yeah, I actually would.
Actually, I would, but that's mostly because of Roger Gwilym, because I'm a stand for Welsh
I
stuff.
must admit, do I like it? Probably literally does Robert Gwilym hold it for me? Just because
Probably
I think
an
his
Iron Bernard.
character was...
Wish he was in it more.
Yeah.
And I think it's the...
Then again, if he was in it more, we might have lost the I guess the always a horrible guy factor, because or like the unknown of what he's gonna do.
I guess. I mean, I like it 'cause of the Welsh culture. Sean Phillips was very underused. This should have been a 2-parter.
I think I think the idea of it, the idea that somebody says something to people,
Yeah, terrifying. What could it do to make you hate someone that much?
fantastic. You know, seeing her mother, Kate, those 2 people actually
Well, the look at
turning
Kate's
their
face.
backs
Oof.
and the looks on both their faces. I think the acting in this one,
Brilliant. Millie Gibson, absolutely phenomenal.
which is kind of probably why I want to put it more in amazing.
Oh, you
than
know
good.
what? You convinced me, actually. Thinking back to it, does this have, is a mystery great? Yeah. Is the folk horror great? Is the political stuff great? Yes. Is the acting great?
I think the thing
Is the
that let
ending?
it down was the ending.
And I don't necessarily mind it, but
It just needed cleaning up.
clean up a bit. And I think this would be better as a 2-parter. You know, if this was like a 2-parter, first hour in the folk horror type of Wales, second part political drama.
Yes, yeah.
Then I think those 2 would be fantastic. But you know what? Some people are going to gel with this. Some people are going to gel to you as a whole, and other people aren't.
I know
and I can gel
pretty
with
much
this.
everyone of our friends will probably disagree with me on this one. But yeah, for me, I genuinely, the more I think about it, I know maybe it's because I like making fan theories in my head.
Yeah, it's a talker. It's one you can talk about for a
But
while.
yeah, and I would genuinely rewatch it.
Yeah, because every time you watch, you might find something different. Like, is the
Whereas like
doesn't is the end doesn't the ending make sense? No, but it's that David Lynch kind of dream
yeah.
logic-y vibe.
Whereas, for example, with Church on Ruby Road, I'd probably only watch that because it's Christmas.
Yeah, whereas this you want
I
to
would
get that
rewatch just
cerebral
because.
kind of horror of the unknown. Um, so yeah, I think when it comes to the answers to questions ratio, I think it does push it to be a bit too obtuse for quite a lot of people. But for me, I can roll with it, and we're gonna. Is it better than Devil's Code?
No. I
Interesting.
think it has to be at the lower tier of amazing.
I think it's more. Is it more clever than Devil? Yeah, we're gonna keep it there. We're gonna keep it there. Otherwise, I'll be talking about it all day. Dot and Bubble.
Now, this is another one I think people are going to disagree with me on, but I really, really liked Dot and
I
Bubble.
really liked it as well. Is it amazing or is it good? I think it's high good for me. I don't think it goes into amazing.
No, I think the thing for me that lets it down is just the monsters. I think I like the fact that it's the AI, is that
AI that's doing it, yeah.
but I don't like the just what the monsters are. Like they just
I like the design. Love Ricky September.
love Ricky's. I think again, the acting in this one is really, really good.
Yeah, you kind of like feel sorry for this woman, but also dislike her, and at the end, you absolutely hate her.
I think the aesthetic of it is good. I think the messaging of it is good.
It's got that juxtaposition of this really pastel-y kind of lovely world with this really dark, horrific, issue underneath it,
Yes.
which again we thought was class when it turns out, we're watching, we thought these guys are elitist dickheads. Oh no, they're racist elitist dickheads.
But saying that, again, the reason that I would put it in good despite all the things I like about it, I don't know if it's one that I probably would rewatch it, but not as much as the ones in Amazing or Fantastic.
I'd agree. And I think that weirdly with 73 yards, the ending kind of pushed it down a little bit. I think the ending this pushes it up.
Yes, yeah.
So almost that would possibly make it amazing, but really, can you, if you look at the episode as a whole, could we really say it's amazing? It's good. It's very good, But I think two Doctor Light episodes, one after another.
Yeah, I think that's the problem of it. It doesn't feel like we're necessarily watching the Doctor help someone. We are, but it kind of feels more like we're watching her ruin Ricky September.
Yeah,
and just save herself.
You deserve better.
We're watching her selfishness essentially.
Right.
Now this is unfortunately again not written by RTD, but yeah, I would put this in Fantastic for me.
Really?
In Rogue,
I would say amazing. I'd say a high amazing. But I don't know whether I could do Fantastic. Tell me why it's Fantastic.
I think it's the most, for me, Doctor Who-y episode of the season. I think that having that kind of Jack Harkness, because I'm a sucker for him, kind of character.
Yeah,
I
Rogue was
think
good.
the villains were clever. Maybe not, they're not the strongest villains we've had of the season, but I thought that they were a really clever way. I actually like the reason that they were there. I like
the
that
cosplay
it's just
and the Bridgerton fans.
They're Bridgerton
That's
fans.
quite cool, to be fair.
I like the costumes. I like like
Chemistry.
having a history one.
Historical one,
I think it's I think it's the only historical episode we actually have.
You know what the only thing is strange to me though, and again, we have Dot and Bubble, which talks a lot about racism, and how racism will still exist in the future, which, spoiler alert, it probably will. There's always going to be dickheads, but at least in the future, they're all going to be on one planet. It's weird how there's no racial element when he's back in is it Georgian
But I
era?
think
Like
I understand what you're saying, but I think because it was trying to mimic
Bridgerton,
Bridgerton
yeah.
so much, I think it was almost working on a Bridgerton style timeline.
I guess what you could imagine is that that has happened off screen and he's managed to hand wave his way out of it, being like that he's like from the Commonwealth, for
Yeah,
example.
there's
Maybe. That's not the biggest deal. But I don't know whether I could
and
say
I just think it was a very enjoyable watch.
it's really good. It's a really enjoyable watch. Really, really solid episode. But is it on the same level as these two? For me, I would probably
Okay,
say
maybe not. No, well,
I could put it in amazing.
Yeah, I'd put it in
the-
amazing.
yeah.
Then I see your point. If we're comparing it to Blue Yonder and
Yeah, it's not there,
Boom,
is
it's
it?
not there. Mainly just because it's not as hard hitting an episode.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad that we can't put a non hard hitting episode in Fantastic.
I mean, we probably could, but it still to me seems like it's bread and butter Doctor Who, but it's bread and butter Doctor Who done well. However, it's still bread and butter, you know?
Yeah. Fair.
It could be the best. What we got by here, we got ourselves steak by here. What we got here, right, is a nice burger. But that
That's
burger's
a steak burger, though.
maybe. And I was going to say, where to on here?
Well, I probably would have put it high. It's definitely higher than 73 yards.
Okay.
I'd still say it's higher for me than
Devil's Cord.
Devil's Cord. Now we get into, I think you disagree, but I still probably put it higher than the
You know
Good
what? I might, because there's less that frustrates me about this
Genuinely,
episode.
I can say bad things about the other three.
Mm.
I don't think
The resolution, to
I
me.
can say, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mind that resolution.
I think they just sort of like, there was always the option for him to jump in and save her, sorry. And I think maybe the kiss probably should have been at a different point.
Yeah,
I also feel like the Doctor shouldn't have been in love with him that quickly. But is it love or is it lust? I think we discussed this actually. Is it more like a lusting towards him? Like that makes a bit more sense. But even that, I don't know whether you know me. I don't like the Doctor being sexual that much.
No, but maybe it's just a desire to have someone love you, have almost like a family or companionship. I know he's got that with Ruby, but they are very friends.
Yeah.
You know, this is a guy who, from the offset, you can imagine them traveling around for a long time straight away.
Yeah, because we don't really know how long he's been traveling before he meets Ruby, you know? I don't know, but you know me, I've talked about before, please see previous episodes, that the romance stuff doesn't do much for me. However,
I like it.
the chemistry was so believable.
Yes.
But I just can't believe that someone could fall.
I want to see him again. I really want to see him
love
again.
to see him again.
I
Absolutely.
hope he is, again, a kind of Captain Jack. I want to see them get it on. I'm joking.
Yeah, I want to see him back. Don't know whether I like the Doc being romantic, but again, you know me, I just can't believe that someone could fall in love with someone after a couple of hours, even though I fell in love with you after a couple of hours. But I know that doesn't make sense. But good, yeah, really good episode. Can't deny it. Really good. Great chemistry. Please bring him back. He was marvellous.
He was.
Now we've got Legend of Ruby Sunday. I think this goes in amazing, if not low end of fantastic.
I'd probably say low end of fantastic.
Great setup episode. RTD, brilliant with his setups. Only slight criticism, I wish that Shirley Bingham was in it.
Well, after what Kate said.
Yeah, to be fair, she's at a... Oh yes, there's an employment tribunal going on. Just do the HR. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that explains it. She's taking a couple of leave of absence, mental health.
Until she can get over it.
Yeah.
Ibrahim,
Ibrahim is gold.
with.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. As a straight man, even I'm like, yeah, okay, Ibrahim, stunning, beautiful man, and just seems so nice, you know.
Yeah.
What really can we say about this, which you haven't said before? You know, great setup episode, intense throughout, brilliant with all the mysteries.
I like the fact that they play on the anagram stuff. It's just like,
Yeah, it's like duh,
duh.
obvious. You know, it's a very
Come on, Doctor.
Yeah.
Well, you're clever, but
Yeah.
we're not that dumb.
Yeah. Red herrings throughout. The unit family I want to see more of. Rose had more to do. Not as much I would like. It still feels like she's in the background, just sort of like plodding along. I mean, give her something to do. You know, if you're going to have her in it, all right, cool, give her something to do. But again, she had more to do than in Star Beast. I liked her more in this than I did in the Star Beast, so brilliant. Family, Mrs. Flood setting up that mystery again. Yep, really great. I don't want to stick on it for too long because we already had our video.
I think because we've obviously done the other so recently. We'll probably make these ones quick.
This is the this isn't actually the Empire Death.
This is the TARDIS Tales of TARDIS. Yeah.
I think this will have to go in May, head of May, because really, like, it's what, a 5-minute scene, and it's good. Yeah. But like, what we say about the rest of it then is Pyramids of Mars.
But I do think.
Oh, but then are we judging it? Are we judging on Pyramids of Mars though? Because we're judging.
We're not.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're not judging Pyramids of Mars. We're
because
judging
that would be a whole different.
Yeah,
kettle
we're
of fish.
judging this on.
But I thought it actually explained things to me better than some of the episode.
Yeah, I think, and for me, it's just so short. It's good.
It is so short, and again, I don't think. But then so was.
Yeah, would I say it's better than that? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, go on, let's do it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
No, I wouldn't say it's better though. I'd still leave it after.
Oh, all right.
I just put
it does matter.
Yeah, sorry, it does matter.
Okay.
And I also really like it in relation to actually the next
how it fits
episode.
in actually.
Yes,
yeah. I like the episode, but it is a meh for me. It is a high meh.
I feel bad putting it in meh.
Because we enjoyed it. I enjoyed the episode, but I cannot.
At the end of the day, it was just so disappointing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of the watchers can't get past.
And we both, and this is coming from people who both enjoyed the episode, but this was a. You know what? How they treated Sutek, no problem. Didn't mind. Having the universe being blown up, also really cool. You know, being wiped out. It's the ending again. It's all the mysteries, and I feel like a lot of what we've spoken about, 73 Yards, Dalton Bubble, a lot of these episodes seem to be made or broken on the endings.
On the endings, yeah.
Because that's the last thing you remember. And is that really fair on it? But I guess because it's the ending of it's a finale as well, so it has to be.
I think
it has to hold up,
thing.
You know.
I also think because the episode before it for me was so strong.
It's a classic RTD thing though, like we said. He's always good with the setup, can't ever land though.
And it's weird because we've spoken about how for a lot of these we might want 2 episodes because it feels like there was more to give.
Yeah.
In this, I almost feel like there was so much that was just didn't need to be there.
I disagree. I think it should have been 3 parts. Personally, we should have had 1 part in Wonder in the Destroyed Universe.
Now, right. So this is interesting because I was going to say, really, what did that part add to the episode? But had it actually been an entire episode, I might have found it more interesting,
or at least longer than it was, even though it was pretty long.
It was
anyways.
Just one single planet with. Don't get me wrong, a very
powerful and terrifying scene. Yeah.
But with just one.
To get a spoon.
It just felt really like, and we can't find this anywhere.
I mean,
and yet you go to Robert Gwillim's place, Rogers, and he's got loads of high tech stuff. Is there not a spoon from a cup of tea in there somewhere?
Yeah, and also it still seems weird to me that they could not find any trace of Ruby's mother on Long Lost Families. Just weren't doing the job.
Nah, it just. I'm sorry, but...
I get what they were going for, trying to be like, she's great because she's ordinary. That's a great vibe, but then you're the one, like I said, you're the one who built this up, Russell. You built up that she was going to be special. Had you not done that...
And also we've had...
We have it all the time.
It all
He
the
does his
time.
kitchen sip
It's
drama.
not special. The whole thing about, Martha, Donna, was that they're so normal, they're amazing.
And again, it comes back to, I still don't understand why Sutek would care.
Yeah, why does
He
he care
hates
about
all
this
of
one
life.
little mystery?
Yeah.
And also when
Maybe it's because it's meta, he's meant to be the viewer. I get that, he's meant to be watching it with us, but like, I don't know.
of everything he's watched, also, like, let's just get back to how many memes have we seen on Facebook of him just clinging to the TARDIS at the end of the day?
What was he thinking during the timeless child?
Like, yeah, of all the mysteries that he has seen the Doctor unravel, this one about the mum is going to be the one that hooks him.
To be honest, do you think he's watch the timeless child being like, you know what, I'm out. I'm gonna go and sit on Tom Baker's TARDIS because that was proper Doctor Who back then. Like, do you think you started thinking this show is just jumped the shark, or like when when David Tennant and Shooty regenerated? Do you think he was there like, interested, or do you think he was like me, like, oh, for fuck's sake, what's going on now?
I just didn't like the mum stuff. I think
that really did leave a sour taste in your mouth, yeah. And a lot of people's...
I think the annoying part for me is that I think you could have done it better. This whole season pretty much has been about family and abandonment and creating pretty much like your own little family.
Yeah.
And then the mum who hasn't tried to get in contact with Ruby at all.
Now they're over for Christmas.
Yeah, now all of a sudden they're meeting her father as well, who also abandoned her.
How does a real mum feel? And by real mum, I mean Clara? That's the one who raised her? Carla, sorry. How would she feel about this whole thing? Because I think apparently, I heard someone say, when we watch that episode, she sort of gives her a little look. I was like, I'd be pissed. Like, you've come and, like, you've abandoned your child. I've raised her for 25 years, and you want to, well, no, 19 actually, and you want to swan in now, like,
because you pointed to a sign really dramatically, which no one in their right mind
Why was she wearing
a
Halloween costume as well?
Yeah, where'd she get that cloak from?
Very, very strange.
Considering what she was wearing later on down the line, I can't imagine any age of her wearing a big
19-year-old, yeah.
Pointing at a sign and going, yes, you should be named.
Like, she knows that so she actually took the time to find the camera in that area and point to it so people knew instead of taking her to an adoption.
Also, like, who genuinely would look at that and think, oh, she's named me, oh... I'd just be like, what were you doing?
Very strange, Russell. Very, very strange. I think, like, I'm a bit of a defender of this era. I mean, look at it. We've got quite a lot of good and amazing. But I do feel like Russell has got to the point where he's almost become a bit too... I don't say the word cocky, because he's a brilliant writer, usually. But I feel like he needs someone to... Like how Moffat... Like what he used to do for Moffat, I think. Be like, okay, you're writing up your own arse a bit here.
I think it's what happens to all big writers, though. For example, and now literally the name's just fucking gone out. Writer of Harry Potter.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. If you look at her strike books, she goes from really small, concise, really good books to big ass, non-edited, because everyone knows her and everyone now thinks that she can write. She fucking can't. And because she's not got an editor, and the quality of them...
You made the worst mistake by mentioning J.K. Rowling on a Doctor Who thing.
But,
there's going to be so much in the comments.
But I'm criticising her.
So that's what I would say.
Yes, it is allowed. Her strike books now are still good, but they are too long for what they are. They need some editing because no one almost has the gumption to go, actually, like, as good as you are, everyone is better with a second pair of eyes.
Yeah.
If you went to a courthouse, you've got a lawyer, you'd rather have a second lawyer there, wouldn't you? Because it's two people defending you. And I think Russell needs someone...
He needs another script editor.
Yeah.
To be like, ooh, does this make sense?
Do you know who's a great script editor?
Andrew Cartmel.
We should bring Andrew Cartmel back.
And I think politically they both line up on a lot of stuff, so that'd be great.
And also, Andrew did say that he wanted to write an episode, so if we could get him to write an episode, but then have him script
Andrew
edit.
Cartmel, if you're listening to this, come back. And just for all viewers, in terms of J.K. Rowling's political stances, we are neutral on the topic. We are not going to cover it at all. we are criticising her writing because neither one of us rate her as a writer. Moving on for that, before we get cancelled, we'll do a quick recap. We've got Wild Blue Yonder in Fantastic, Boom then in second place, Fantastic, Legend of Ruby Sunday in third place. This is for the purpose of the Spotify listeners. We have Rogue number 1 in Amazing, The Giggle number 2, Devil's Cord number 3, and 73 Yards in number 4. In Good, we've got Dot and Bubble in first, Church on Ruby Road, The Star Beast then in third. The last 2 minutes of Power of the Doctor, still Strangers on there, but whatever, in, what's that, fourth? And the little mini episode, Tales of TARDIS, which we aren't taking into consideration Pyramids of Mars, otherwise that would be in Fantastic. Then in Meh, we have Empire of Death in number 1, so the best of the bad bunch, so to speak. Best of the Meh bunch. Space Babes in number 2, and Doctor Who and the Plunges of Death in number 3. Then in Nothing in Bad, Nothing in Perfect, and in Not Watched, the CBB special, because we're not 6, and the latest,
trailer.
The latest episode that's going to come out, which we haven't seen because we can't travel in time. That was a long one.
They probably want us to jump on the trailer, but I refuse.
Is there a trailer?
I think, yeah, or a little clip.
I've seen images. I don't think I've seen a trailer for it.
Oh, there we go.
Or maybe there's like a little thing at the end of Empire of Death. But the point being is, that's not been reviewed. So that's it, guys. That was a long one. Thank you for sticking with it. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Feel free to disagree in the comments.
Yeah, I would actually love to hear your tier list. Please tell us how wrong we are and how terrible the season is or how brilliant it is. Overall, I think this is pretty solid. This is the most excited I've been for Who in a while. Is it as good as the original era so far for me?
No, but
that's had longer.
Also,
and so nostalgia.
That's impossible.
Also we got the nostalgia. But you know what? I think it's good. I hope that Russell reins in some of his more cerebral, out there elements just for a mainstream audience. And by that, I mean, please, 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 Russell, you're a great writer. Get someone to check over your scripts for logical inconsistencies. Come on, man. That's all we ask for.
And bring Susan back properly.
Yeah, bring Susan back as well. And bring Andrew Cartmel in. And bring back Kate Herron as well, because she did brilliant at Rogue. I think Kate Herron, that's her name, when we did Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was top notch. And bring back Moffat. Basically, write less and bring more people in. Thanks for listening, guys. Really appreciate it as always. Thank you to all 16 of you for subscribing.
We'll see you next week, and we actually will see you next week this time.
Yeah, where we will be playing Smash or Pass with Doctor Who characters. With the Doctor, actually. So, yeah, join us for that. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.